Hi, today I'm going to talk about 20 deadly mistakes which I have learned over a period of 20 years span of my career. So these lessons not just like costed me time, money and growth, but it would be a lesson learned like how we can effectively optimize our career and how we can grow in our careers in a short span of time. So I'll be starting from the small mistakes to the most deadly mistakes ranked on top of the list. So let's just start with this. So one mistake which we all are doing is we are comparing ourselves with others. So whatever we see on LinkedIn, like we see reels highlights where people are just praising and posting their wins that they have achieved this and that they have achieved or got some promotion and they are getting a new car out of the freelance work which they are doing. So they are just posting their wins, but they are never posting their struggles and the hardships that they are facing. And you can see whatever problems which they have faced, like scaling their systems, facing and fixing the bugs at 2 a.m. And so always focus on what you are doing. Try to run your own race and focus on what you are doing. Then the second thing is that not asking for feedback. So this is again one thing, you should not wait for an annual review from your manager. So you should always ask on a regular basis, even monthly, after every achievement. Try to ask for a feedback and then try to act on that fast. So this way you are not bound for that annual review. The second thing is this is one thing which I have over a period of time learned, that avoiding a hard conversation going to pay you much more in the coming days. So if you are facing certain problems and you are facing certain issues, so don't keep lingering these conversation for any later time. This mistake, like avoiding any hard conversation. So what does it mean? Basically, in case if you are feeling uncomfortable in your career and you are trying to avoid any hard conversation with your peers or your manager, so it's going to cost you more than what you are going to get out of it. So never ever linger these type of conversations. If you are facing certain problems, feel free to reach out your manager and any other manager beyond that if your manager is not listening. So because this will help you move with your career. If you think that this place is not working for you, then you will be able to move forward in your career. One of the deadly mistake anyone can do is that they are trusting any verbal promises. If someone is saying that you are going to get raised or promotion and roles, but they're not trying to bring it to any written conversation. Let's say if your manager is uh, keep promising on a verbal note, but if the that manager leaves and if the management changes, so those verbal notes are not going to be entertained. So if it's not unwritten, think it doesn't exist. Then comes under investing in your English and communication. These are two things. English is just a language, but effectively communicating is one another way. So first you need to know that how you can craft your ideas and communicate them in a very effective manner, be it Urdu or be it English. But as the English language is official communication language for business, and it's again an international language as well, so you should be effective in both, like communicating your ideas. So your ideas are basically only worth as much as your ability to explain them. If you can't explain what's in your mind, in your heart, so it's never valued. So make sure to effectively communicate your ideas and what's in your mind and heart. And if it's in on top of that, if it's in English, that would be really beneficial for you. So always try to invest in that. Then I talk about let me talk about the career hygiene. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the career hygiene. So if you are having no mentor, so it means you are falling on your own. So what does it mean? So if you are not following or if you do not have a mentor, so whatever you are going to learn, it might take you ages. In current days, if you are following any specific person who is a well known person in his niche, so you can take advice from him. And when I talk about the mentor, it doesn't necessarily mean that he is going to be your line manager or someone who is directly impacted by your decisions. So they might come up with any biased advice as well. So make sure whoever you are following, so they are not going to give you a biased advice. They should be able to give you genuine advice. So make sure to find some good mentor and try to mentor others based on what you have. This is going to help you improvise on your career strategy. The next point I'm going to discuss is like not negotiating your salary with data. So you should always be aware of your market worth. So you should be able to see how the market is valuing you. So or you should always know and what are the market numbers. So you just not do not have a feeling like I am getting underpaid or I am getting what I'm getting is like good. Don't come up with that feeling. Staying silent in that and staying unaware of the market numbers is going to cost you lakhs. So always try to figure out what the market numbers are, and then you should be able to negotiate your salary properly. Then come another career hygiene, or I would say working in silence. So let's say if you are doing something and you are not knowing anyone, you aren't letting anyone know what you are doing. So great work which nobody is seeing is never compounded. So always try to either there are two ways. One is like building in public. This is one of the best thing that you can do. People are going to know who you are, whatever things you are contributing to, and they will get a feeler like what type of person from in technical terms you are. And if you are working for a company, so make sure your work is being projected. Try to highlight that. If you are staying silent, so and nobody is noticing you, it's going to cost you much more than you anticipate. The second thing is again somewhat similar, not building a public portfolio. This is one of the biggest mistake. Even I have done it to an extent. Like with every passing year, you should always look back and see what your public portfolio is. So you should always have a good GitHub repository. You should have some work demos. Like I would say, weekend projects you should be building, and you should be like writing or over the blogs, trying to speak out loud on your social media profiles. So this is one of the best thing you can do to yourself. If you are not building a public profile, you are just bound to your office projects which you can't showcase because that project doesn't belong to you. So make sure you always try to build up public portfolio. At this point, like no saving or no investment plan in your 30 20s and 30s are going to cost you much more in later career years of your life. So you should always make some smart investment irrespective how much you are earning. Now comes the strategic part. What is actually happening, like building solo too early in your career? What does it mean? Like you should try to get working with as many good people as you can. So try to be in a strong team where you can see how other people are learning, how other people are moving, how they are improvising. Because when you are meeting some good people, you are going to get improved indirectly in a sense, which you will be realizing in coming days. So make sure you always try to work with a good team rather than working solo early in your career especially. So and the next point is that like not going too deep into the business domain. So this is one thing. So this might be related to certain people or this might not be. Let's say if you are building or working in a company, so and which have a very big project or I would say very domain intensive project. So not just invest in the code, try to build this domain depth as well. So this is going to make you irreplaceable. Let's say if you are working on a fintech domain, so having that domain is going to help you manyfold alongside the code as well. So it will give you a deadly combination of two strength. One is the coding and second is the domain. The second thing which I personally faced might think like ignoring any adjacent tech on the rise. What does it mean? Let's say initially when .NET was there, so .NET was using ASP.NET, MVC, and web form for its front end. But once this Angular thing came up with the single page application, the rise of single page application, what actually started happening? Angular started becoming a default for .NET. So those who have early adopted this Angular are have a like around 10 plus 10 around 10 years of experience as of now, but who adopted it later might be having a couple of years of experience. So always try to like watch like what are the adjacent technologies. So keep looking what technologies is getting a combination with your primary technology, so make sure to get hands on that as well. So Angular nowadays it's just combination along with .NET. So any like post job posting you are going to look at might be asking for this either Angular, React, or any SPA application. So mostly Angular. So always look at what the adjacent tech on the rise are along with your primary tech. The second thing is like switching roles too quickly. This is again subjective to where you are working. So always focus on the learning aspect, never ever focus on the money aspect primarily. So if you are learning and you are able to get hold of certain good people, you are working along with good team, so never try to switch too early just for the sake of money or any perks. And if you are part of a good company which people are praising, not just their own leadership from their own words, so make sure if you are in a good company, switching it too quickly is going to cost you much more. But if you are in a like toxic company in a toxic environment, then this doesn't apply to that. Then comes this is one of the best thing, or I think one of the major point you can take on picking the wrong manager. Basically, you are a compound of how many people you are interacting with and how many people you are around with. If you are having a wrong person or a wrong manager or a weak person in your manager role, you are going to cost much more because he will try to please like both the management and the leadership, and he might not be able to like stand upon or hold to any specific need of yours which you are like asking from him. So make sure you get like working with a good manager, a principle oriented person who knows what are the like pros and cons, and he's going to get you like honest advice. So make sure this is one of the best thing that you can do in your career. You join a company, but if you work for a manager like who's not good, so that experience even within a good company is not going to become very like pleasant for you. So make sure you choose carefully. If you think the person's vibe is not matching, try to plan your exit as soon as possible, and you won't regret it later. Then comes the career definer, like staying too long in a company or a role. This is one of like gravest mistake that you can do, because once you keep working on a single project, you get starting to get comfortable because you knows the ins and out of those things, and comfort is the slowest way to grow it. So this is you are going to either learn it today or either you are going to learn it 10 years after, once you see back towards your career that where you have spent your time. So always, unless and until you are accumulating like 10 times or multiple times of your current worth, let's say you think your current worth is x and you are getting 2x, so try to compound that amount, because this way staying at that company might be like not that fruitful, but at least you are accumulating in terms of investment or in terms of your net worth that might help you later down the road. But still I think it's not that worth. After 2 or 3 years you should see and evaluate if it roles is fulfilling your need for a long-term career, or you should move on. So, and then this is again one of the like major mistake that you can do, like ignoring the international remote market. What does it mean? Like there are so many international remote companies that have been hiring, but it's not easy to get hired over there. Like you might have heard of TopTel and other companies, but getting into those or at least trying to get a job from them is not that easy because they are trying to bring the top cream from the market. But you should never try or remove this like international remote market approach from your skill. Always try to go ahead, because the same skill which you are earning, which is earning you x amount, they can help you earn like 5 to 10 times in USD. So do not limit your market. Then this is again one of the deadliest mistake that you can do, not sharpening focus on your primary niche. What does it mean? If you are a .NET developer, you should be the go-to person for any .NET thing. If you are an Angular person, any person who is thinking about an Angular project should have you in your mind first. So you should not be that okay person that if no one is going to like find someone, so then you might be that person. So never ever look up to becoming a person who is a master of all. And one more thing, with the advent of AI, there is no player jack of all type of person, because every person at this point of time is a jack of all. With just a single prompt, he will be somewhat near your experience. So make sure you have a very sharpening focus on one technology, where even .NET can't come. Then comes the, like, this is again a grave mistake from my own experience, like taking management when it's making you technically obsolete. People at times take on roles, managerial roles, where they feel that they are getting certain things and they are learning. But if it's making you technically obsolete, you are not able to contribute effectively to any project which you are working on. So, and you are even not getting a good taste of that. So this is something you should take on from a very serious perspective. So leadership is basically a path you choose, not an escape from staying sharp. So you, if you are able to manage two things, like you are able to take on the management role as well, and you are able to like keep your technical skills sharp, then this is the role for you. But if you are not able to do it, like, think me and make mark my words, you are going to regret it in a long term. Easy to say, like choosing stability over learning. This is something which a person should never do. Like, learning is the only thing which is shaping you. So there is nothing like a stable job, and there is nothing like a permanent job. You might have seen the fangs and every sort of companies laying off the people, even those who are extremely good at what they are doing, so they are laying them off. So never ever focus on the stability of a job. Always chase the steepest learning curve and try to be in a race where no other are able to compete with you. So try to follow that, and stability is going to get follow. Basically, if you have a skill, so stability is going to follow the skills, never the reverse. If you do not have the skill, stability is not going to come to your path. So as I've like touched upon different mistakes, so make sure to leave one. Now it's your turn. So need to leave. What is the biggest mistake that you have done in your career so far? Thanks for watching.